the notion of a big brother government. But his opponents say that's exactly what we should be afraid of. Joining me now on the phone is the chairman of the Campaign for Liberty, but he's more famously known for being a presidential candidate and former Republican member of Congress from Texas, Ron Paul. Congressman Paul, thanks for joining me on the phone this morning.
Thank you, Chuck. Nice to be with you.
I want to start with this issue. You called Mr. Snowden. You've praised him and essentially said that he's a hero in this case. You've heard there's a lot of senators, both Democrats and Republicans, who believe what he did was illegal and he should be treated as a traitor. Why shouldn't he be treated as a traitor?
Well, it is probably illegal. There's laws against this. But what about the people who are breaking the law, violating the Constitution, even using the Patriot Act extensively, according to Sensenbrenner, who wrote the law, said they didn't act within the law? Who's going to punish them? Why don't we talk about those individuals who are breaking the law, and which one has the higher order, the Constitution and the written law, or the authority of the executive branch who controls the enforcement of laws? So I would say that the bigger the government gets, the greater threat is the lack of knowing the truth of things. So really my goal in life has always been to try to figure out what is the truth, and I would say individuals who are willing to take a risk and realize the danger of telling the people the truth, they're real heroes. For instance, right now we have a CIA agent in prison because he told us the truth about torture. So I would say that we have to sort this out both in a moral sense and a legal sense, but to say that only the whistleblowers are the ones who are breaking the law, we should question the people in authority about breaking the law and what recourse do we have. Evidently, they feel very frustrated and they have to go to the public because going to the FBI and other agencies to investigate themselves doesn't seem to pan out very well.
No, I had a lawmaker say to me yesterday that you get more protection from the media than perhaps going to an inspector general or the FBI. But I want to ask you this question about the issue. There seems to be two issues. One is disclosure of these programs, and the other is whether the programs are itself are a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So let's start with the disclosure aspect and the transparency. Would you be potentially uncomfortable but accepting of, for instance, the telephone database program, the idea that they gobble up, they vacuum cleaner essentially all telephone numbers and what American telephone numbers, what calls they make to who, not necessarily the contents, put it in a database. If the government was more transparent about that procedure, would you be more accepting of the procedure?
Being transparent about them breaking the law and violating the Fourth Amendment doesn't make me feel any better.
So you believe that even the telephone, that even that specific instance, let's set aside the issue of PRISM, that one also is a violation of the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, the big question is why should they do it? They say we're not listening and we're not going to use it and we're not going to ever use it. Well, why do it? You know, and if they're looking for 10 people, why do they have to look at 300 million people's activities? So it makes no sense whatsoever, and it's such a blatant violation of the clear language of the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, and the founders knew what this was about. I mean, the British did it to them, and they wanted to try to prevent this, and yet now we have the heroics and the politicians saying, oh, you know, to be a patriot, the person who is telling us the truth, they're the ones who are committing the treason. So it has been turned on its head. And the foolishness, even the political foolishness of the Republicans running to rescue Obama. The American people are sick and tired of all this snooping and prying and surveillance. So the Republicans run to the rescue of Obama and say, oh, no, we passed those laws. Those are good laws. What we want to do is we want to preserve these laws. So it doesn't even make political sense. It doesn't make good moral sense. It doesn't make good constitutional sense to me.
And very quickly, do you believe the only way we can resolve this debate is by having the Supreme Court weigh in on the constitutionality of these procedures?
Well, I think that's a tool that we have to use, and hopefully it gets there. But I think the ultimate test is education, the people understanding this, and the people determine that they believe in liberty and they want limited government. And when you have big government, you have this kind of abuse. You have big government taxation. You have abuse. So the abuse comes from big government and the natural tendency of individuals who hold this power to abuse it. So no, the biggest issue is the acceptance by the people of big government to take care of us from cradle to grave, make us safe and secure in our houses by having policemen investigate and have all this surveillance, as well as economic security. If we expect the government to be the nanny state, it'll be big and it'll be abusive. That, to me, is the most important issue.
Ron Paul, I'm going to leave it there with the Campaign for Liberty. Mr. Paul, thanks. Congressman Paul, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you.